Hey, everybody, welcome to the program. We are slightly late. I had a wardrobe malfunction. You learn, we're going to replay a little bit and then we're going to go into stories. Um, I have new teeth. Can you see them? I have a smile again. See? A little overbite, which is ironic because, yeah. Um, but only I would dog myself over that. But I have a little overbite. Um, but and that's because of my jaw, nothing else. My jaw just has issues, and I learned today that when putting these in, I cannot rush. See, I always when I got ready for the show and got ready for things, I would do it last minute. Well, when you have new teeth with a slight overbite because of your jaw, I'm gonna notice these things because I know people. If I adjust my jaw right, everything fits. If I don't, then it doesn't. But that is the least of my problems today. I rushed into the show because I'm happy. I feel normal. Um, I have a set of teeth in my mouth, and I don't have what I thought I would have, which is a list. I just talk normal. What I had to learn real quick, like getting into the show quick, is that Tom cannot rush the process if the process is going to work right. I have to take an extra 5-10 minutes, and I have to allow myself the time to get ready. I have to be a diva now. After all, I have teeth. So enough about that. If you're just joining, we had some technical difficulties. I was the technical difficulties. And now the biggest thing I have to worry about is that I feel fat. Literally, the biggest thing I have to worry about is that I feel fat on the air. Which is like my body profile is not even like like that big when I'm sitting, especially. Um, so I shouldn't feel fat. I should feel normal. But uh, it is how it is when you're stuck with a brain like mine, and all you can do is think about negative things. This is what Tara Devlin tells me. Don't think about the negative things. You can't do that. It's bad. It's bad karma. So um you got to think about the positive things. You got to deal with positive. I think I look good overall. I think I corrected a major malfunction in my life that I had for 20 years. And I learned today that you cannot rush this for it to work. So, this is like my coming out. It's not going to be perfect. Not everything is. And if you knew how much I spent on these, um, grand total was less than $1,000. I'll just put it that way. And I feel fine. Again, except for the little overweight, it's not uncomfortable and it's perfectly wonderful that I feel comfortable on camera. Something I've never, like, talk about life changing. Talk about a life changing event that literally in one day from not having something to having something, you feel comfortable with yourself. This is amazing. This is absolutely 1000% fundamentally life affirming, life changing, and aside from hating the adhesive, I love it. And after today, we're not going to talk about it so much. It's just going to be a natural thing that we deal with. And again, thank you to all the people who stuck with me from the beginning. That means the world to me. Now, um, little story time uh, about last night when I was fitting them. Don't put them in backwards. I actually I did that last night, and that made things worse, and it was really uncomfortable. This is actually totally comfortable. This is, you know, weird but comfortable. Friday news dump, everybody. We're not going to have a show on Monday. Monday, I have to go to a funeral. So I really wanted to do a show today. And break time music. So we are live. And you're listening to the Nosey Liberal on FYNation.com. And we had a life affirming event today, so we're talking about it. I don't often get to talking about my life affirming events anymore, but we are today. And we have 3 hours to go through, and we know Rory because Rory's in Japan now. I hope safe and sound. I haven't checked on Rory, but I'm hoping he's safe and sound. Uh, but all the people who I would say put up with me through gender dysphoria and put up with me through body dysphoria. I guess body dysphoria is a thing, right? When you are completely uncomfortable with how your body is, and it makes you like not want to do things. I called myself a fucking hermit for Christ's sake because when you have no teeth and you are constantly in your head about how people look like how people look at you, how people react to you, and how people think you are, and you constantly have this in your head, it gets to you. It bothers you. So you judge, and this is what I used to do, and I'm still doing it now. Like the little gap because of my jaw is driving me nuts, but it's not that bad, but it's still driving me nuts. And I've only had these for one day. One day. So it's not like I'm used to dealing with them and having them in and everything else. It's like everything, it's a process. And like I never been one like this I've never been one to talk about personal things on this show because I was uncomfortable. I was not open with you, the audience, because I was too busy judging myself. I was too busy thinking about what everybody else was thinking about when I was not doing full commentary. So, what I would do is, and I hope I did this well, just do full commentary. I would just give you the news. And I know a lot of you stayed for that. And I appreciate that, especially those on the radio um, and the podcast. And I didn't feel comfortable talking about something that made me completely uncomfortable. I d- like I it hurt. And the other day when that troll came in, the troll came in and decided they were gonna talk shit about me. And basically said, what nuclear blah 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 did you climb out of? And it hurt. And I was already being interrupted because of work stuff. So it threw me off. And I learned that I have to have a spine. I learned that I have to be able to deal with things on a higher level. I want to be a public figure. And I want people to listen to what I have to say. Part of the reason why after 20 years I went and did something about my teeth was because I knew that nobody was going to take me seriously long term because people look at you. Let the first thing they see, oh, pretty ugly. How I mean, Judge Jackson, the the main reason she was on the list, black woman, black woman. Joe Biden told us. Now, I I don't have. I'm not one of these right wingers who has a problem with that. In fact, I think I gotta laugh that I have an overbite with brand new teeth because of my jaw. I think that's fucking hilarious. Like I'm not even embarrassed by it. I'm just like frustrated. It's like, okay, so here we are with this. And it's not causing the dysphoria that everything else did, but it's like, oh, look at me, overbite. You know, go get your teeth fixed. I did. I did get my look. I can smile. Isn't that wonderful? That I can smile and I don't feel like completely. I don't feel bad. Like that's so amazing that I can do this. I literally feel like somebody who was trying to transition and finally did and has all the body parts they need and feels comfortable in their body. That's how I feel. That is literally how I feel today. Like I have overcome this obstacle that I this self-imposed obstacle that I caused. Like I made this happen. Like Joe Biden. Joe Biden made Kentucky Jackson happen. Joe Biden said, I'm going to do it. Joe Biden said, this is how it's going to be done. And she is now justice. And it's beautiful. It's a wonderful thing that she is justice in the Supreme Court. Now, she's not um, sworn in yet, but I love that they picked her. And the Republicans, except for Mitt Romney, Susan Collins, and Lisa Murkowski, all dumpster dived on this soft on crime, pedophile uh, collaborator person that she isn't. They tried desperately to paint her as this soft on crime pedophile lover and an un-American. And I have the receipts. Like I'm just not talking out of my ass to say that GOP hate black people and black women. I have the receipts. Only if you hate black people can you for years, get on a conspiracy theory that Donald Trump had talking about Barack Obama and his birth certificate. For years he did this and became president because of it, partially. Because he dog whistled his way into the hearts and minds of the cracked out right wingers. And it boggles my mind. It really does. And it frustrates me to no end that this is where we're at. We're going to talk about this and so much more when we come back. We're going to have a break and we'll be right back. Sorry for the weird show. The break isn't going to be as long as usual, but it'll be there. Um, you know, it is what it is. We're live. We're here. Um, and here's the break, everybody. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Welcome back to the program, everybody. Um, it's weird being here today. I wasn't supposed to be here today because teeth fitting and they it made things slightly weird for me. So um I was going to do a show, but uh then we had technical issues. Um the funeral I have to go to on Monday, I will not be able to do a show on Monday. So on Sunday, I'm going to pre tape a show to air at 9 o'clock for everybody. So I'm going to hopefully get some guests and get it rocking and have our first live show because we're gonna monetize the hell out of this channel. We're gonna we're gonna go full capitalist with this channel. And it drives me nuts for those watching that I have an overwrite. Um, I it's funny as hell, but it drives me nuts. For those watching, thank you. For those coming back, because we do a news channel on the FYNation.com, Progressive Talk Radio. Uh, thank you. It is very appreciative that you come back to us and you check us out and check out our live programming like Tom Hartman and Robin Kincaid and new programming like Tara Devlin. Um, it's appreciated that you do it, and I really like that you do it. And I gotta tell you, the GOP hate, hate black people. Hate, hate, hate. It's not like, and they always go back to this trope. The GOP always go back to this. We freed the slave. The Democratic Party didn't free the slaves. We freed the slaves. Um, my friends, my GOP friends, that was hundreds of years ago. What have you done for black people since? The right wing last night was trying to paint Donald Trump as the victor because they didn't want to cover Judge Jackson. Because, God forbid, you have a strong black woman on the TV at Fox News. So they wouldn't cover Judge Jackson. They basically ignore this except to call her a pedophile collaborator and soft on crime and weak. And we're gonna play the clips. I have the receipts. We didn't get to play the clips the other day. Oh yeah, and Obama came to the White House this week. And the only thing that they had to say about Obama coming to the White House was that our friend Nancy Pelosi was typhoid Nancy because she got COVID-19 on Tucker Carlson show. So there's that. They not only hate black people, they hate women too. You cannot be a strong woman. You have to be weak kneed and bend the knee to the men. And you are inevitably can't speak. We all know why. Um, You're stuck with the GOP being the way they are. They hate black people. It's really that simple. They hate women. It's really that simple. They hate the LGBTQ. Because if they didn't, why would they spend so much time on laws that they perpetuate on a regular basis? They perpetuate these laws on a regular basis to harm black people. This is what they do. The GOP does not give a damn about black people. Now, are the Democrats better? Um, sometimes. But the Democrats aren't openly, and this is a difference between the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, that you can tell people who are reactionary and want to say, well, there's no difference between the parties. They're exactly corporatistic whores, and this is how they are. Hogwash. The Democratic Party does not go out of its way to fundamentally make it hard for black people to vote. They go out of their way to make it difficult for black people to vote. They take people off the voting rolls who are predominantly minorities. Oh yeah, they hate Hispanic people too. Um, Hispanics for Trump, fuck you. Um, the big giant fuck you. The GOP does everything in its power to go after minorities because they hate them. They 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 hate them. It is that simple. I don't know any other way on how to put it. The GOP hate black people. The GOP are very happy to hate women. And that's just how they are. And again, I have the receipts. They prod up certain black people, like Clarence Thomas, Candace Owens, who have the conservative ideal views that they want them to have. So they'll prod them up and say, look, we like people of color. We don't have any problems with them. What are you talking about? And if you disagree with the black person that the GOP have handpicked for you to be qualified to like, then we have the GOP saying, and this is, I have the receipts, I'm going to play the receipts. You then have the GOP saying, you're racist because you don't like so and so. You don't like their views. You're willing to write them off as not a black person, you're racist. Are you are you kidding me? What is wrong with you? Except that you hate black people, not just black women. What is wrong with you? And they do all these race baity things and attack. They're, the GL people don't have a minority they don't want to attack. If you're white, you're fine. I'm a white male, although I'm non binary, so they happily attack me. And before the teeth, I was ugly as shit, so they'll attack that too. And feel comfortable in doing that because they dismiss you and write you off. And it's an okay thing to do in this society to dismiss and write you off if you don't have the image that is popular. If you don't have that image, they will write you off. And the Democrats do that too. But the GOP do it at an alarming rate. The GOP do it to get more votes. The GOP do it to fundraise. And it should bother each and every one of you. It should bother you that the GOP do this. It should bother you that the GOP hate black women. They call her the cackle queen because she giggles. Who doesn't when they get nervous or when they find something funny? Have a little giggle. What normal person doesn't just have a little giggle? Usually at their own expense. Like, I'm having a little giggle today at the fact that I have a fucking overbite. Brand new teeth, and I have an overbite. And it's because of my jaw. I'm having a little giggle. I'm having a smile along with it, but I'm having a little giggle. And it's a comfort thing. It doesn't mean you're crazy. It doesn't mean that you don't know what you're doing or you're talking about. Having a little giggle at something is a reflex. I would love them to attack, oh, what the hell's his name from The Sopranos? Paulie Walnuts. I would love them to have, he has a little thing when he gets nervous. He goes, ha ha, ha ha, ha ha. It's a little tick, if you will. I would love him to get attacked by the right wing. Well, he's white, so he won't be. You see where I'm going with this? Typhoid Nancy, strong woman being attacked because she got COVID, no fault of her own, and kissed the President of the United States and shook the other president's hand. Oh my God. And by the way, Barack Obama can still be president if Donald Trump can still be president. I declare it. I declare it. I am so sick and tired of people not being willing to accept the fucking obvious. The obvious that the GOP hate black women. They hate women too, but they really hate black women. No break this time. You're listening to the Nosey Liberal live on FRINation.com. We're just having a Friday conversation. News dump. And I'm here, a little late start, but we fixed the issue. You could leave a comment in the comment section, except for Facebook Live, because stupid. Um, but feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. And let me know how I'm doing. What you think with the new grill. Yay. I like it. Except for the overbite. I gotta go to the dentist. No, I don't. Fuck that. Um, I have an overbite. It is what it is. um, the GOP do not like, in fact, they hate. I'm not gonna, let's not sugarcoat it like the corporate media does. Oh, we want to have Mick Mulvaney on, so we're gonna not talk trash about him because we want to have him on the show. We want to have him on the network, CBS. I'm looking at you. So let's be kind to Mick Mulvaney. Oh, Mick Mulvaney could go to fucking Fox News, for Pete's sake. Go to Fox News, where you belong. What are you doing on CBS? We're trying to show that we're not liberal. Be liberal. I mean, they're gonna say you're liberal anyway. And the only time they're gonna not trash talk you, New York Times, I'm looking at you. The only time the Republicans are gonna not trash talk you is if you happen to have a headline that, oh my God, you agree with. Otherwise, the Republican Party is going to trash talk you. They're going to trash you. They're going to insult you. They're going to make laws against you. Why do I know the Republicans hate women? Look at all the abortion laws. Because Jesus. No, because they hate women. It's not a religious fantasy to protect the babies. It's because they hate women. They do not want women having a choice. You understand? They did not want Kentucky Jackson on the Supreme Court. They walked out when she was getting an applause. How much more of receipts do you need to understand that the GOP hate black people? Black women, especially. They cannot stand them. I'm surprised they haven't found a way to criminalize them yet. I'm really shocked. They do not like them. And that's a fact. But in fact, they hate them. And we just have to get used to that. That is the difference between the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party uses black people. Okay? And minorities. Which is not good, but at least they recognize their sovereignty as people. Which is a step higher than what, I don't know, any Republican does. I mean, what's the senator? Tim Brown. Look how they treat Tim Brown. They put him in the closet unless they want to bring him out for criminal reform or some token thing to say to talk down to black people. This is what they do because they hate black people. They hate minorities. It's a party of hate, a party of greed. I mean, only in a party of greed can your predominant religious belief be prosperity gospel. They go hand in hand with the right wing. Prosperity Jesus, aka white Jesus, and the GOP are together. They mold perfectly. They fit better than my new teeth. I'm just saying. Tell me how I'm wrong. I'll wait. I'll wait. And again, not to belabor the point, I have the receipts. Ted Cruz talking about Clarence Thomas is claiming that we, the Democratic Party, and liberals who disagree with Clarence Thomas are racist. We are the party of racism because we do not allow opposing views. No, we just don't want views that are completely contrary to what we believe. Why would you? Why would you want somebody that is completely contrary to what you believe? That makes no sense. Why would you do that to yourself? You wouldn't if you were smart. But Ted Cruz is not smart. He hates black women, especially Judge Jackson, and he hates black people because he uses them as tokens. If you like black people or any minority, you don't use them as tokens. And Ted Cruz does. And I have the clip. Let's roll the clip. I'll stop talking about it and I'll roll the clip because this needs to be. We didn't get to do it the other day. Where is the little bastard? We didn't. Here we go. This is Ted Cruz talking about the Clarence Thomas and the Democratic Party. Okay, sorry for the music in between the clip. What's wrong, what's racist, what's cynical and ineffective is calling the Democratic Party wrong, racist, cynical, and ineffective. Um, the racist person here is Ted Cruz. Okay, we have a memo about Miguel Estrada. Let's unpack that for a minute. It is not just because he is Hispanic. And it is. See, the Democrats don't want Miguel Estrada because he can be used by the Republicans to say, look, I like Hispanic people. Exactly what Ted Cruz is doing. Ted Cruz is saying, I wanted a Miguel Estrada. I thought he was impeccable. He had all the credentials for a pick. You should want Miguel Estrada too. Oh, and he's Latino. And I get to call you racist if you don't like him. They play the race card while saying the Democratic Party is playing the race card and while using a Latino man to gain traction, to earn points. If that isn't hating Latinos, I don't know what is. You're literally using a person to gain on your opposition. How least racist is that? Why can't they just be a good judge? Or why can't it just be the Democrats don't want Miguel Estrada because he is a conservative and is wrong? He's wrong on the issues because he's a conservative. Why can't it just be that? Why do the Democrats all of a sudden, because they point out Hispanic conservative, would be bad? Sorry, it's not racist. It's pointing out the obvious. What's racist is saying, well, you're racist because you don't believe what Clarence Thomas believes. You don't think he's black. And nobody in the right mind says that. Nobody in the right mind says, I don't believe in Clarence Thomas because he's a Republican. So then, therefore, Clarence Thomas is not a black man. Nobody is saying that in the Democratic Party. What we are saying in the Democratic Party is he is a collaborator and hates himself for being black. That's what we're saying. He hates the fact that he is black. So he won't go with what the majority of black people want. He'll instead attack that. We're not calling him white or anything like that. We're not saying he's less than. We're saying Clarence Thomas hates himself as a black man. Because if Clarence Thomas gave a damn about himself, he would not be so self-hating. I mean, he's doing everything he can to be white. He married a conservative white woman. He votes constantly on the Supreme Court with the Republicans. He very rarely sides on the side of good, on the right side of justice. He does. He doesn't speak barely ever on the Supreme Court because he doesn't like to hear his own self speak. It's classic. He doesn't like himself. We're not saying he, Clarence Thomas, is not black. We're saying he's a token for the GOP. Got it, Ted Cruz? I don't hate Clarence Thomas. I hate his views. I don't know Clarence Thomas. Clarence Thomas could be the nicest guy in the world. And his biggest flaw is his wife. That crazy ass. Clarence Thomas could be wonderful. A decent human being who thinks he's doing right and all that. But in reality, he is just, and Jim points this out, Stockholm Syndrome. He's been abused. He's being abused. And I don't want that for anybody. I don't want it for women in the Republican Party. I don't want it for black men, Tim Scott. I don't want them to be used by the Republican Party, by a party that hates them. They openly say that they are mad because they cannot talk how they really want to talk. Pray tell, what does that mean? Are they saying they're mad because they can't use the N-word? Well, what's his face of AF, America First, can't remember his name right now, said that they all love Trump because you knew he would say the N-word and not be afraid to say the N-word. This is the core. This is the core of the Republican Party. I look. The core of the Democratic Party just wants to make as much money as possible and squeeze you. They're like little trolls. Jim says it's like telling a 5-year-old not to say fuck. They're gonna say fuck. Fuck. Exactly. We have a systemic problem in this country with racism and with the Republican Party being a racist party. And the old trope of, well, I am okay because this is how it is. Let me rephrase that. The old trope of freedom, thanks to them for helping out. The old trope of freedom, I can say whatever I want without any consequences, is long gone. You can't say whatever you want. You get pointed out, you get banned, or you should be banned. You get shunned, or you should be shunned. And that's my phone. And I didn't turn it off like I thought. My apologies. Gotta love that. That is diabolical. When you think you can just say and should be able to say whatever you want without any consequences, it's diabolical. There's no other word. It's also racist. Because I'm sure in their heart of hearts, they all want to just say the N word and have no consequences to when they love Mel Gibson. He made Jesus, white Jesus, and he says the N word and a whole bunch of Jewish slurs. They love him. They think he shouldn't have been canceled. And then they cry foul when you go and point out, hey, you're being racist. Maybe you shouldn't. And we're not doing it on like a heavy-handed way at this point. We're doing it lightly. We're doing it lightly. And frankly, it is annoying. I hate my override. I just like that it's something new to distract me. Um, they're crooked. Of course they're crooked. And Tommy's gonna notice it. Um, because they're new. And they're not even that bad. But I'm gonna notice it and make a big deal out of it. Jim Point makes a good point. I love Jim. Um, they only understand human relationships through a dominance paradigm. Absolutely, they don't. They don't. They're totalitarian. They're authoritarian. There's no question. They're reactionary. And they're not even the good kind of reactionary, like progressive and liberal reactionary, where you can try and see where they're coming from. They're just reactionary. And goody, I'm getting spammed in the Twitch. Nope, I love this. No planes were involved on 9/11. Really? No planes were involved on 9/11? Then what flew into the Twin Towers? Pray tell. What did? A, a giant ass? Because that's what you're like. I love my Twitch. My Twitch, I get the crazy. That's okay though. Back to Republicans being hating. They hate. They continually hate. And again, I have the receipts. They hate strong black women. And Tim Cotton said it. And I have the clip. Just bear with me. Tom Cotton. Tim Scott, Tom Cotton. Names are hard. Talking about Judge Jackson. Because asshole. So, what? You don't deserve a strong defense? In the face of all. They shouldn't be defended? You just want, bam! No trial, gas chamber. No, I'm sorry. It does not make you soft on crime to want a strong defense. That's crazy. It does not make you soft on crime to want a strong defense. And if you like all of a sudden, like Tom Cotton thinks, you're bad because you're going to defend evil. What's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? And the clip was muted. My apologies. I don't know why it was muted. Shouldn't have been muted. That's weird. I heard it perfectly fine. So, okay, the clip was muted. Let's try this again. Um, let me know if it's muted this time. Tom Cotton. Okay, it's muted. Okay, the clip is muted. That's something new. Um, I know why. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. That's why. I fixed it. I fixed it. We have a fix for the muted clip. Um, yeah, Tom Cotton is probably better off muted, but for the sake of the receipt, let's try this one more time. And the other Ted Cruz receipt was probably muted too. So my apologies for that. That was a me error. It's been fixed.
You know, the last Judge Jackson left the Supreme Court to go to Nuremberg and prosecute the case against the Nazis. This Judge Jackson might have gone there to defend them.
So, again, Tom Cotton, you don't want someone to get a strong defense? You don't want a system of justice? What's wrong with you? You don't want a system of justice suddenly? You are soft on crime? What is wrong with you? Everybody should get their fair day in court. Even Matt Gaetz should get his fair day in court. Everybody deserves that. And why are you all of a sudden bashing defense attorneys? Defense attorneys are the best thing you could have in a free society. The best thing you can have. But suddenly they're banned. Oh my god. And sorry for the technical issues. Now it's going to eat me that some of you didn't hear the clips. But Tom Cotton doesn't want. Not only does he hate black women, Tom Cotton hates the justice system. Tom Cotton does not want you to have a defense. What is wrong with Tom Cotton? Could he be a white supremacist? Could it be totalitarian? I'm just asking the question. I think it is. I think it's white supremacy that you would think a strong black woman going to defend anyone is soft on crime. Jim says the white GOP is antisocial. Absolutely. Absolutely. They're also no, they love white Jesus and they love greed. They don't hate everyone and everything. White Jesus, totally okay. And greed, totally okay. Prosperity Jesus, hand in hand. Like a love it fits. Remember, they love that white Jesus. And they love to hate on everybody. So they do actually love things. And they love Donald Trump for whatever. Oh, because he fits the bill. That's why. There's no longer. Why do they love Donald Trump? The explanation. Oh my God. Oh my God. Is so simple. The explanation for why they love Donald Trump is because that's who they want to be. They want to be just like the sky. We made Jesus into a capitalist, Jim says. Absolutely. Jesus that I know was never a capitalist. Unless it was the day that the priest came up and said, "We need your money." Then Jesus was a capitalist. But every other sermon that I ever heard, um, Jesus was not a capitalist. There was no prosperity except when it came to TBN. Dan Crouch, remember him? And his gay lover, Jan. I kid Jan Crouch, but oh my God, the hair on her. I shouldn't body shame. Like, I should be the last person that should body shame. But oh my God, the hair looked like freaking cotton candy. Every time I look at Jan Crouch, all I think is, I want cotton candy. It's so distracting. Jim says they managed to ignore all the loving and accepting parts of their own religion. Well, you got if you are greedy and you fundamentally hate everything and everyone, it's only logical that you then go to the next level. And the next level is, oh my God, we are going to hate on everything and everyone and ignore all the good parts about Christianity. I love thy neighbor. Take thy neighbor in. Give them housing and respite if they are in distress. All those things. Unless you're Jewish. Um, because they bring about the Armageddon, then you're okay. But all those things, they just they override. It's like when you have a piece of software and it's debugging and it gets rid of all the good parts. That is what they are doing. They get rid of all the good parts about Christianity and turn it into a diabolical money making multi level marketing scheme. Republican Party, right there. If you love Jesus and if you pay enough, you will get all that in return. Republican Party, right there. I don't know how else to spell it out. Yeah, basically Windows 11. By the way, don't upgrade to Windows 11. It is the worst upgrade since Windows Me. Windows 11 is awful. All the bad of Windows, none of the good, as Jim says. It is horrible. I have it because I was forced into it with a new computer. I hate Windows 11. It's so complicated for no reason. Like the Republican Party. You could look, you can want things like getting rich and being richer and all these things to do with money. I applaud that. I'm trying to get them myself. But what you cannot do is do it on the backs of other people. You cannot be Howard Schultz, Starbucks owner. Howard Schultz is literally trying to get rich off the backs of his baristas and is afraid of unions. He is terrified of unions. He is just so um scared is the best word, that he thinks they're a threat to him. And it's pathetic. But here, let me get the clip. I'll show you. This is from Recount, and this is him hating on unions.
Now, here's where it gets a little sensitive, because I've been coached a little bit, but I do want to talk about something pretty serious. We can't ignore what is happening in the country as it relates to companies throughout the country being assaulted in many ways by the threat of unionization.
They are assaulted by the threat of union. What threat? Living wages? Living wages? This guy wanted to be president. He woke up one day and he thought, ooh, I can be president of the United States. And now he's a union buster. He always was. But unions are bad. This is why he couldn't run in the Democratic Party, because the Democratic Party likes unions. And Howard Schultz couldn't be a Democrat because he hates unions. Unions bad. Unions are a threat in only the sense that they will bleed you dry from bleeding the worker dry. Unions will take away the ability for companies to basically monopolize the workforce and capitalize on the workforce. And unions suddenly, according to Howard Schultz, Starbucks CEO, unions suddenly are horrible threats. Jim says there isn't much built on oppressing others. Absolutely right. Unions don't want you to be oppressed. So Howard Schultz sees unions as the threat. You see what I'm saying? Howard Schultz sees unions as the threat. And I gotta learn how to talk again with teeth. I feel like I'm not doing it right, but I know I'm talking. So this is experimental. Unions are not a threat unless you deem them a threat. Unions make it so the worker, that peasant, is not taken advantage of. The only thing better than a union is when you have a company that you can buy into the company as an employee. It is the only thing better than a union. Which I highly recommend if you run a company to do, because you want everybody on the same level playing field that you're on, so you can make money and you can uh, achieve the goals that you have for the company, and be able to prosper. So there's that. Um, Trying to think here. We only have a few minutes left in the hour, so we're going to go to the next one. Remember, no show on um Monday, I have to go to a funeral. I will have a tape show on on Monday for you. So that'll be good. I'm hoping I can get some guests for the tape show because I want to. Today's a different. I wasn't even going to do a show today. I honestly wasn't. I was going to just go on Daredevil show tonight and relax. But that didn't quite happen that way. We will be right back after this. You're listening to Caprice and we are live on YouTube. And I hope you enjoy it. Because you should. It's fun. I've had fun. I hope you are too. And Green News Report is coming up now.
It's Thursday, April 7, 2022.
The facts are that oil majors testifying here today still returned billions of dollars to your shareholders in 2020 at the same time that you were laying off your workforce.
Lawmakers blast big oil CEOs for using wartime profits to enrich investors.
Today, we are proposing to take our sanctions a step further. We will make them broader and sharper, so that they cut even deeper into the Russian economy.
Europe moves to ban Russian coal. Plus, more destructive storms are causing more power outages and costing taxpayers more money.
Thanks to climate change, all of those stories and more straight ahead from BradBlog.com. I'm Brad Friedman.
And I'm Desi Doyen.
Stand by for 6 minutes of independent green news, politics, analysis, and snarky comment.
It's troubling that you place profits over people and profits over our planet.
Well, maybe, Congressman, but you might have just given the anti-American oil companies their new tagline.
Profits over people and profits over our planet.
This is your Green News Report. Okay, Desi Doyen, I like it. Profits over our people and profits over our planet.
I'm sure they'll adopt that right away.
I think why wouldn't they? What do you have for us today?
Well, in a House Energy and Commerce hearing on Wednesday,
frankly, given your profits, you could drop prices without even increasing production.
Top executives from Big Oil defended their decisions to return cash to shareholders rather than increase production or lower wholesale prices as gas prices spike in the U.S. due to the fast pandemic recovery and Russia's war on Ukraine.
Because they hate America and the planet.
House Democrats criticized the CEOs and Republicans for falsely blaming Biden administration policies while the oil companies sit on millions of acres of unused drilling leases on public lands. At the same time, they're pulling in record profits. In earnings calls to investors in February, big oil CEOs admitted as much. Here are the CEOs of Pioneer Natural Resources, Diamondback Energy, and Occidental Resources.
We're not going to change our growth rate. We think it's important to return cash back to the shareholders.
No one wants to see that shareholder return program, put at risk.
We have no need and no intent to invest in production growth this year.
They have no need to invest in production growth this year, even as the Republicans are yelling at Joe Biden for not expanding oil drilling. Give me a break, man.
In the hearing on Wednesday, Democratic Representative Frank Pallone of New Jersey noted that oil companies decide the wholesale price of gas, which in turn sets retail prices. Pallone asked the CEOs of Chevron and BP if they would commit to any action to lower gas prices for American families.
Will you commit to doing whatever it takes, including increasing production, but also reducing dividends and buybacks in order to lower prices for struggling American consumers? Yes or no?
Mr. Chairman, we can increase production and return value.
All right, I'm going to take that as a no. Mr. Lawler, yes or no?
Yes, I can't commit. I can't commit to a reduction in buybacks and
All
dividends.
right, I hear you.
Unbelievable.
A new report from Bailout Watch confirms that big oil is using wartime profits to enrich investors, finding that the nation's biggest oil and gas companies significantly increased their shareholder dividends and stock buybacks after Russia invaded Ukraine. Progressive lawmakers in the hearing also pushed for accelerated investment in clean energy to reduce the nation's reliance on dictators and oil companies. In other news, in the wake of horrific evidence of probable war crimes committed by Russian troops against civilians in Ukraine, the European Union has proposed a total ban on imports of Russian coal.
Good.
But not yet imports of oil and gas. Europe gets about 45% of its coal from Russia, which is a major revenue source for Russia. A handful of EU countries have ruled out directly targeting Russian oil and gas. But tiny Lithuania is moving ahead anyway, with a ban on Russian natural gas.
Good.
Portugal announced this week it has moved up its target of reaching 80% clean electricity forward to 2026, 4 years earlier than previously planned.
Also good.
Here in the U.S., though, climate change impacts are already increasing costs. A new AP analysis of federal data shows that power outages from severe weather have doubled over the past 2 decades across the U.S. due to the increase in extreme weather driven by man-made global warming, which is crippling broad segments of the nation's aging electrical grid. AP found that at least 40 states now see longer outages, which are causing significant economic losses and can be deadly for the elderly, disabled, and other vulnerable communities. But finally, some good news. The Biden Environmental Protection Agency announced this week that it will finally ban deadly asbestos, a carcinogen that is still used in some products like brake pads and gaskets and still kills thousands of Americans every year.
And it's still not banned?
Nope. This final ban is made possible under a landmark law signed by President Obama that overhauled regulations governing tens of thousands of toxic chemicals.
Well, good thing big oil can't turn a profit on asbestos.
Profits over people and profits over our planet.
For much more on all of these stories and the ones we couldn't get to today, check out our website at greennews.bradblog.com. I'm Brad Friedman.
And I'm Desi Doyen.
And this has been your Green News.
Shake your mind. I muted myself. I know what I'm doing, folks. I really do. My apologies. Thank you, Jim, in our chat room. Oh, and Jim, I was told how to make you a wonderful wonderful admin and moderator so you can deal with the trolls so I don't have to. I will hook that up for you right now while I'm thinking about it. But as I was saying, the Republican hatred of people is something that is and should be concerning to everyone. It should concern you. It should bother you. It should make you want to bother you. Do something about it. And it wholly and subsidiarily, it should, I don't know, make you worried that there are these people that just act the way they do. It should worry you. And it worries me. I don't know why it doesn't worry more people. It, it trying to think while I add this, so I apologize. Just bear with me, and we will get this done. I love trying to do something while um uh I get everything. And so there's that. And use this. Yeah. And it's not letting me do it. Oh fine. Um we'll figure it out later. And we'll worry about the show now. So we're live. I don't know. Mark Gainsby asks if you can say one thing to Donald Trump, what would it be and why? Good question. Um, good, good question. I think it would be simple. I would want to know why he's such a dick. I would ask him straight up, why are you such a horse's ass? Why do you hate people? What is it? What did people do to you, Donald Trump? And this is for any Republican. But what did people do to you to make you so greedy and so hateful that you're willing to be this way? What did you do? So that's what I would ask. Yeah, it's not petty. I want to know why he is the way he is, Mark. I want to know, Mark, why Donald Trump is a jackass. And I want to know why, if he can change. Probably not, but I want him to be a better person. I want him to be a president for everybody, not just the rich. So I would ask him, why are you a jerk? What made you this way? Why are you broken? Who broke you? It's not petty at all. It is an honest question to why he is the way he is. And I want to know the answer. So you can say it's petty. But thank you for the question. But why is it that, and this goes into exactly what we're talking about, why is it that Breitbart has an exclusive story? This is their exclusive. Uyghurs say China forces Muslims to drink alcohol, eat pork during Ramadan. For those unaware, it's Ramadan. It's a Muslim holiday, and you're supposed to fast. Now, why is it all of a sudden Breitbart cares about Muslims? Maybe it's to fit their narrative, to hate China. They hate China slightly more than they hate Muslims. Okay? It's that simple. They don't care. Like, even if this story is true, let's just take it at face value and say this Breitbart story is true about the Uyghur people. They do not care about the Uyghur people. They are literally pulling a Ted Cruz and using them to attack. They are using the Uyghur people to attack China. That is not liking Muslims or being okay with the religion. That is none of that. That is going against something because it props you up. So, yes, I would ask Donald Trump or Breitbart, why are you such a jerk? Why are you willing to say that you care about a people to go after another people for your narrative? Why are you willing to do this? What makes you so diabolical that you are willing to go after China because you disagree and you use a people that you do not care about, the Uyghurs? You don't care that they are being abused. You only care about attacking China. You see? They do not care about anything else. They do not care about anything else. And it's pathetic. Even if this story is true, which I want to see sources. Because they're going to Breitbart, their source, and saying this about the Uyghur population. It's not like they are going to multiple places. There's only one source. So there can't be qualified answers to this. Except that we have other basis of reporting that the Uyghur people have been attacked by the Chinese government, the communist government. So we know that to be true. So we know something to be true. We then have to decide, do we go with the statements from Breitbart, who only wants to attack the Chinese government? That's what we have to wonder. Are they doing this to only attack the government? Or are they doing this because they actually have good intentions? And I believe their motives are clear. They want to attack China and have a hit piece. And what is a better way to do it than the old way they do it all the time? They constantly go with this trope of rape, which is good because I need to fix it. It's distracting. And when we come back, we'll talk about rape and why the dialogue
Read diverse, read indie on Insight Daily Radio. Conversations with today's most influential authors from the world of independent publishing. Denise Lajmadier is a Native American author, and her latest book is entitled His Feathers Were Chains, an award-winning poetry collection addressing trauma, love, grief, and enduring hope. While the premise of the collection is overt criticism of settler society, the poetry within is subtle, approachable, and grounded in Ojibwe knowledge and customs. We spoke with her about this most interesting book.
I want my poems to be very readable, because you hear about so many people saying, I hate poetry, or I hated it in school because they had to scan it and they had to do all kinds of work. They had to try to interpret it. It hurts their brains, and so they don't like poetry. So I wanted my poems to be very readable to anyone out there, especially, as a Native writer too, with my writing group who are all non-Native women. I would run my poems by them because I wanted my poems to be able to be read by general audience, not just by Native people. So I wanted non-Native people to be able to relate to my poems and have them understandable. So they're not opaque. You don't have to dig for any deeper meaning, anything like that. They're pretty clear. Like I said, they're narrative poems. Some are prose poems, so they're very readable. And I think that's important for people so they can enjoy poetry.
That's author Denise Lajmadier on her latest collection of poetry, His Feathers Were Chains, published by North Dakota State University Press. Read Diverse, Read Indie is presented by the Independent Book Publishers Association.
Hey, ho, ho, welcome back to the show. I will check out the music issue a little later. Some testing that needs to go on. I wish Mark stayed, because I think my question for Donald Trump is a valid question. I mean, what else? What else does he want a liberal to ask Donald Trump? What am I going to ask him? What am I going to say to Donald Trump? Was it like being president of the United States? What? I want to know why he is the way he is. Jim says it's because his dad hated him. And, okay, we can psychoanalyze it. I say it's a little bit more than that. I say he's fundamentally flawed, but I don't want to hear it from me. Like, I want to hear it from him. I want to know exactly what makes him the way he is. I want to be able to not psychoanalyze him. Like, why does Breitbart do this story? Why does Breitbart do a story about the Uyghur people in the way they do it? Why did they suddenly give a damn about Muslims? Because they support the Muslim ban. Why do they suddenly give a damn about Muslims? Explain that. It doesn't make any sense. Jim says Trump has completely replaced human values with capitalist values. Okay. Sure. I agree. But again, we're analyzing him. I don't want to psychoanalyze Donald Trump. I want him to tell me. I want him to explain to me, or any Republican, anyone on the right, why it is profits over people. Why you are okay with this. What makes it something that you are willing to sacrifice swaths of people for your narrative? They have a specific narrative on the right. China bad. China bad, China bad, China bad. So what do? They find an oppressed people that they don't like, and they attack them. Or don't attack them for their narrative. For once, they suddenly care about Muslims' holy month. For once, they suddenly are worried about a group of Muslims. They don't care about these people. They don't give a damn. They only care about the narrative that they are trying to sell. They only care about what they are saying. They don't actually care about the Muslim people. Like Mark. Mark didn't actually care about my answer. He wanted to come in the room and have a wisecrack and make it so Trump was the victim. Breitbart finds the victim. They can bash China. See how this works? And no break. I love pre-roll music. So They go and attack China and act as if all of a sudden they care about the Uyghur people. When they never did. They never cared about the Uyghur people. They never gave a damn about the Uyghur people. They only care about their narrative and what they consume. About their narrative. They only care about themselves because this sells their narrative. And Jim points out why China is a threat. China is a threat to capitalism. So they go against China because communism. That old trope. Hi, Kevin. That's why they did this. Because it's simple thinking. Since they are so simple minded. The Republican Party, Breitbart among them, are simple minded. They do not have honest views. So they do these things in these ways. They do these things in these ways. And it's unfortunate. But it's not surprising. It's not surprising at all. The Republican Party, and it doesn't matter if they're Breitbart, it doesn't matter if they're Fox News, they want to profit over you. And the better they can do that, the happier they are. It's real simple. Kevin says they think Canada is communism. And that's exactly right. Because they don't have a firm grasp on reality. They literally, and they literally will make a mountain out of a molehill for their narrative. They will not be an honest broker of what is actually going on. They don't have an ability and an effective ability to use facts and logic and reason. And oh my God, that thing called critical thinking. They don't do that. They don't use that. So, inevitably, they fail. And that's why the Republican Party is so flawed. I don't really need to ask why Donald Trump is a jerk. I mean, it would, okay, it would be nice for the shits and giggles. Why are you a jerk, Donald Trump? It would be nice for the shits and giggles. But I don't need to do it because we already know the answer. We already know the documented causes. We already know what and why they are this way. And we know this because of their behavior. Whether it be Donald Trump saying something here, I'll play it. This is Donald Trump about the press.
You know, they say that in Russia, the people in Russia don't even know they're having a war because they have a rigged press. We have the same rigged press. Maybe not quite as severe, but it'll be there in the not too distant future.
We have a rigged press, he says. No proof, no evidence, and it will never be like Russia unless Donald Trump gets his way. Donald Trump wants a press that will cover him in positivity only. I would never actually get a chance to ask, like Marty's on Donald Trump a question. Right? I would never actually get to say, Donald Trump, are you a jerk? Why are you a jerk? It wouldn't happen. Wouldn't get 3 feet of him. He wants people to genuflect. He wants people to love him because he is unlovable. He wants, basically, they want to go after him. And thank you, Kevin, for the compliment. Apparently, the production quality is wicked. That's always nice to hear. It's simple. It's really simple because they're simple-minded. And I'm not making fun of people who are developmentally challenged. But it really is simple-minded. You have a group of people who literally are, I don't even know how to, I know, they do not care about you or me. They want profit, capitalism, or else. I mean, these people believe in prosperity, Jesus. Kevin says, careful not to fall into party politics. Dems are very corrupt too. I totally agree. Dems are not much better. But the difference between the Democratic Party and the difference between the Republican Party is that the Democratic Party does not solely put profits over people. Unless you're Joe Manchin. Joe Manchin is just an asshole. Kosher for Life says Harvard did a study of the 100 days of his presidency and found that it was a majority negative coverage, which was like 90 percentile range of negative coverage. So, yeah, there's a justifiable reason for him to feel that way about the press. So, Hoosier is saying bad coverage, Donald Trump can be an asshole about the press. No! In fact, I can make the argument that you want bad coverage. I will make that argument. I will die on this hill. You want bad coverage. Bad coverage makes you stronger. Look, I'm not looking for compliments or popularity. I'm looking to get a message out that the system is broken and it needs to be fixed. And the people that are not going to fix it, that are not going to fix it, are the Republicans. The Democrats are flawed, but there are better angels in the Democratic Party every day than the Republican Party. It's just that simple. Yeah, but Hoosier, you say, why? Why is the bad coverage? Because he continually does wrong. It's not like the media was out to get Trump. He continually was foul mouthed. Look at what he did to Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham was running against him. And Donald Trump releases his personal cell phone number. What kind of animal cruelty is that? Explain. So you're going to defend him and say he's justified. He's not justified to hate the press. And he brought it on himself. It's not like this is a domestic case where which is what you're trying to make it out to be. You're trying to say this is somehow domestic, where Donald Trump was abused. So Donald Trump doesn't like the press because he was abused. Kevin points it out perfectly. The coverage of Trump is that he's trash. And Hoosier, I don't know how it's not a defense of him. You're literally saying that Donald Trump is getting all this bad coverage, so it's perfectly okay for him to not like the press. How is that not defending him? I mean, again, here's the clip. Let's roll the clip. This is last Saturday. President Whiny Pants.
You know, they say that in Russia, the people in Russia don't even know they're having a war because they have a rigged press. We have the same rigged press. Maybe not quite as severe, but it'll be there in the not too distant future.
I'm so glad that Donald Trump edits his comment, excuse me, by saying not quite as severe. Like, he is literally saying this press is like Russia. Russia has no free press. Russia has no free press. There is nowhere in Russia where you can go. Where, okay, where did they state this? Give me one article. Where did the major news network state that it was their stated purpose to oppose Trump? Maybe commentators like Rachel Maddow or Jake Tapper. Where did a news outlet come out and say this? Give me one. I'll wait. MS. Where's the link? Give me the link. Where did they say that they were going to oppose Trump? And a commentator on a network doesn't count. You can be a commentator and I oppose Trump. I think you're confusing commentator with actual news. Like France 24 is actual news where they bring you facts and they bring you information. France 24 does this. BBC brings you facts, brings you news. Again, you're not listening. Commentators are not news. Tucker Carlson is not news. I don't think you understand what news is. News is bringing you headlines and information, no commentary. Sean Hannity is not news. It's commentary. And just because people on their network were openly anti-Trump, at least they were honest. They were honest. Would you want to be lied to? Would you rather have a medium that, I don't know, leads you into a false floor? Or would you rather do that? I want a media that is going to tell me, commentator or otherwise, I don't like this person. Here's the story. Like, I'm a commentator. I'm bringing you a story about Breitbart and how Breitbart is using the Uyghur people, a Muslim people, to attack China. They are using an entity to go after another entity and then justify it. That is not news. that is commentary dressed up as news. When you're going after another entity and saying, "Oh, we're so horrified that this is happening," when there's actually nothing that they believe in helping this class of people. They don't want human rights violations. They're not calling for anything like that. They are just going after China to go after China. Excuse me. For their narrative. And I'm sorry, when Donald Trump says everything's rigged and it's almost like Russia, it's nothing like Russia. It's not good. But you can find shows like this, shows like Tara Dallin. You have tons of right-wing shows. Everything from Alex Jones to Bill O'Reilly. You have on the right different levels of extremism that you can go and find. So for Donald Trump to say that he is being treated unfairly and the coverage is served is falsehood. It's intellectually dishonest. He is not telling the truth. I don't know how else I can explain it. Donald Trump is a liar. Now, the media gets it wrong. The media, Iraq, got Iraq completely wrong. MSNBC, CNN, all these other outlets, Fox News, they were all going after the war, carrying George W. Bush's water. They get it wrong. They should be called out for it. One day to get it wrong. But predominantly, when it came to Donald Trump, they got it right. They did not get anything wrong. Kevin says, you know what's intellectually dishonest? Rocking many American flags, knowing what that does, what America does, got them. Not quite sure I follow. But I think I'm on the path. Basically, pseudo-patriotism, where you just wave a flag and cannot be intellectually honest about this country. And Kevin and I agree. And that's sort of the media, as an example, got it wrong. and were dishonest and never have been held to account. Never once have been held to account. It's unfortunate, but they haven't. It is where we're at. And we only got a little bit of the show. No live show on Monday. I had to go to a funeral. We will be live Tuesday. I'm back at 9 a.m. Trying to think. I really didn't think I was going to do a show today for reasons explained earlier. So show prep is lacking. But I do want to talk about this before we go. Barack Obama. One of the better presidents we've had. One of the better presidents we had. And gave us the Affordable Care Act. Now, me, I would like Medicare for all. Universal coverage. But I got something that saved my life. So I can't complain. Literally the program, because of the Affordable Care Act, saved my life. So I'm not going to bash the program like some. It is tremendously flawed. And by design. Because of compromise. But to bash it because it's not perfect is dishonest. We have to get to perfection. We have to get to universal coverage. And fixing things like they did this week is a good start. And you have a party that Obama points out that does not want you to have health care, that does not want you to worry about pre-existing conditions like you no longer have, which I have. But today did a lot of good. And if you like me, it saved my life. That being said, Obama pointed out that, frankly, we wouldn't have anything if it were up to the Republicans. And here's that. Again, the difference between the Republicans and the Democrats. The Democrats will step up to the plate. Deeply flawed, but they step up to the plate. Republicans, not on your life. They will not step up to the plate. So there's the difference. And here's Obama telling it.
But, of course, our work was not finished. Republicans tried to repeal what we had done again and again and again. And they filed lawsuits that went all the way to the Supreme Court 3 times. I see Don Marilla here, who had to defend a couple of them. They tried explicitly to make it harder for people to sign up for coverage.
So, nutshell, Republicans put purpose over repeal And the Democrats, well, flawed, at least try. They need to try harder. They need to be better. Or as Melania would say, be best. Medicare for all is the solution. Talk to y'all later. See ya. Tuesday. But we'll be live on or not live, but it's April. Bye.
Read